1, 2, 3. It's when you think you know what to write that it all falls apart. A blank page staring back at you.
Hello, I'm Mr. Hall. I teach music at the Richmond Middle School. Ms. Vaughn Savage and Mr. McCarthy asked me if I would be willing to make a video about how I use poetry. Some of you may know that I teach music here at the school and I direct choruses and bands. But what you may not know is that I write, record, and release a new song every month. And to do this, I have to write poetry. And so over the years I've developed a system that really works for me, and I thought I'd give you guys a little peek at what I do. So here we go.
I don't know what to start with. Let's start with that.
Okay, so step one for me is I use a journal. These books represent the last 16 years of songwriting that I've done. And certainly not every page in these books is used for writing lyrics. Sometimes they're just thoughts, sometimes they're ideas, sometimes I'm mapping out some other thing in my life that I want to be able to take care of. But all the ideas are here, and I can carry them around wherever I go. I don't carry them all, I just carry whatever one's the most current, and that's this one. So I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to take you inside one of my books and show you how it works. So let's bring the camera over here and we'll take a look inside. Okay, so here's the evolution of a song. You'll see there's a date, and sort of a weird factoid is I tend to write songs on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. A lot of my songs seem to come around those days. And this is one that is eventually called Rainbow Butterfly Unicorn Kitty. You can see over the words, the title here, that I actually numbered the words. Originally I called it Unicorn Butterfly Rainbow Kitty, but I didn't think that sounded as good, and I numbered what I thought it should be. And then I start writing, and I'm writing chords above it because, you know, that's what the thing's going to be. And you'll see I cross out a lot of words. There are things I don't like. There are little words that I put in here. And it all kind of comes together in this way. Now, the next day I write again. And this, I keep the date. It says 11/12. And now you can see that I've changed the title, that it's now the right order, and the handwriting's neater, but I still have some words crossed out. I still have some things. You can see I'm putting in words, doing things like that. I put in my choruses. Things are looking pretty good. I'm liking it. It's pretty good. And when I get to the end, that's it. That was the finished product. So this is the finished page. So that song literally took a day to write, which is unusual.
Wrote you a letter using magnetic poetry.
So what we're looking at here, this is another Tuesday. It's November 3rd, 2015, and this is going to be the lyrics to a song called Cup of Tea. And I write a whole bunch of lyrics about trying to write a song using magnetic poetry, and you know, the words are okay, but I'm crossing out a lot of stuff and I'm not happy with it, but I know it's a good idea. I'm like, this is a good idea. I'm going to chase this. And it wasn't until the second page I started getting some stuff, and then I've got a chorus. I didn't even have a chorus on the first page. And then you can see I've titled it. Now it's the next day, so this is a Wednesday. I've got a verse, and I've got a thing all the way to a chorus, and then I don't know what I'm doing. I've got crossed out lines, everything's a mess. I'm trying really hard to make something that I like, and I don't find anything good. So another page has to go by. Alright, Alright, so this one is a punk song I wrote called Vaporproof Suit, and this one actually starts on Halloween in 2010. It takes a while to finish it, and you can see I've got these numbers on the side. And what I'm doing is I'm actually counting syllables. And this gets really important over here. You can see that each line, I mean, this is total nonsense. I'm like, Walambi, Tombi, Bombi, Combi, Abercrombie, Fitch, Woofy, Toofy, Moofy, Roofy, 9 and time save Stitch. But the point is that each of those are 8 and 5, 8 and 5, and that equals 13 syllables. And it keep doing that all the way through that entire section. And it was really important to the song that it have that kind of thing going to it. And I actually don't record this song until much later. It was the first thing I did for my songwriting challenge because I just needed to get it out. And so it waited almost 6 years before it was done.
The scratchy pen's so satisfying when it finally hits the page. But if you're searching for wisdom...
So that's what the inside of my songwriting journals look like. And I found that I have a really hard time writing songs if I'm not using one of these pens. This is a Precision V5. Really like these. They have a nice scratching sound to them that I think actually helps me write lyrics. And then this is a Avant Pro. I like this a lot too. It's a real smooth writing pen. I can't write songs on the computer, like lyrics on the computer. Rough copies, it's almost impossible for me to do it that way. Other people can, but I can't. I will put them on the computer only if I need to share the lyrics with somebody else, and I want them to be able to read my writing. Another thing, sometimes to get started with a poem, you need to write lines you're not going to keep. These are called dummy lines, and I use them all the time. You'll be writing something and you're like, oh, this fills a space in the song, but it's not going to be there. It's not going to be something I keep. And occasionally I surprise myself and I keep a dummy line. I keep a song, a word or a phrase that I thought I was just going to toss, and I end up liking it enough that it stays in. You know, as you are creating songs, or as you're writing poetry, as you're writing stories, you're going to write a whole bunch that you're not going to be happy with, or you're going to think that I can't share this with anyone because I'm too embarrassed by it, or it's too personal, or... Alright, word about persistence. And keys. First of all, you never know who's going to like your work. You never know what's going to inspire your work. You never know how it's going to affect other people. And so you don't want to give up just because the first couple of things you did weren't any good. I know for myself that I'll write a whole bunch of horrible songs before I come up with something that's any good. And if it's not a song, it's a horrible line, or it's a horrible set of lines. But sometimes you'll write that horrible set of lines and you'll come out with a gem. And you keep that. You say, okay, this is awesome. I'm going to base a whole thing around this. And then the songs come really, really quick. And that's a great thing. Poems, books, screenplays, all of these things take time. And so you're not going to get good at it if you just quit. You can't predict it, you can't explain it, but it's important that what you've got inside of you, it's only inside of you. This is your personal voice. And if you don't share it, if your story doesn't get told, then no one's going to tell it for you. And I think that is a really valuable thing to take from this, is that no matter where you are in your creative process and how you're writing your material, that you keep at it. Don't just stop because somebody next to you says it's horrible, or somebody gives you a bad look, or you get laughed at. Keep doing it. Keep doing it, because you don't know where you're going to end up from doing it. And all of the time you put in doing anything creative is extremely valuable. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Peace.
For my baby and me.